The world is hushed tonight, dear soul, as if it knows the weight you carry. Midnight wraps around you like a soft, heavy cloak, and the stars above seem to pause, watching, waiting. You are here, in this fragile moment, where the heart feels too tired to speak, yet too restless to rest. The room is dim, perhaps lit only by the faint glow of a candle or the pale light of the moon slipping through a window. The air feels still, holding its breath, as if it senses the quiet ache within you. Before we begin, can you share with me, where are you and what time is it? Maybe somewhere, God is using that very moment to touch you, gently and very real. Close your eyes if you can, and let the silence find you. It is not an empty silence, but one that cradles you, like a mother rocking a child who cannot sleep. You are not alone in this hour, though it may feel so. The tiredness in your bones, the questions that circle your mind like restless birds, they are known, they are seen. God, who formed the stars and whispers to the seas, is near, even now, in this very breath. He does not demand your strength tonight. He asks only that you stay, that you let yourself be held in this sacred pause. Lord, my heart is heavy, and I am so weary. Can you hear me in this quiet night? Imagine yourself sitting by a window, the cool glass pressing against your forehead. Outside, the world sleeps, but your soul stirs, searching. You might feel a pang of loneliness, a flicker of doubt that wonders if God is truly listening. That is okay. St. John Paul II once said that prayer is not about finding the right words, but about offering the heart, broken as it may be. Your heart, in all its fragility, is enough. It is a gift, a whisper that reaches the ears of the one who never sleeps. The night is a teacher, dear one. It strips away the noise of the day, leaving only what is true. In this moment, you might feel the weight of unspoken fears, of dreams that slipped away, of moments when you turned from God or felt He turned from you. These are not burdens to carry alone. They are threads in the tapestry of your soul, and God, the gentle weaver, longs to mend them with His love. Picture Him now, not as a distant king, but as a friend who sits beside you, His presence as soft as the moonlight, as steady as the rhythm of your breath. Father, I don't know if I can believe tonight, but please, stay with me, just for a little while. This midnight hour is a sanctuary, a place where you can lay down the masks you wear. You do not need to be strong here. You do not need to have answers. The God who walked with St. John Paul II through the trials of a wounded world walks with you now. He knows the ache of a heart that feels too small for its sorrows. He knows the longing for a touch, a sign, a whisper that says, I am here. And He is. In the stillness, in the quiet, He is. Feel the air around you, how it moves softly, like a prayer unspoken. Let it remind you that you are alive, that you are seen. The night does not judge you. It simply holds you, as God does, inviting you to rest in His presence. You might imagine a hand, warm and gentle, resting on your shoulder. It is not a hand that demands or corrects, but one that comforts, one that says, you are enough. This is the God who met St. John Paul II in the quiet of his own prayers, the God who meets you now in the tenderness of this moment. Lord, if you are still here, please touch me, just once. Let me feel your love in this endless night. As you sit in this silence, let your heart speak its truth. Whisper to God the things you cannot say in the daylight. Tell Him of the tiredness that clings to you, the doubts that haunt you, the hopes that feel too fragile to hold. He listens, not with judgment, but with a love that is deeper than the ocean, wider than the sky. This is the beginning, dear soul, the first step into the night where God waits, not to fix you, but to love you, exactly as you are. The silence grows softer now, like a lullaby. It invites you to lean into it, to trust that you are held. You are not alone in this midnight hour. You are known, you are cherished, and you are carried. Let the stillness be your prayer, your offering, your home. For in this quiet, God is whispering back, his voice as gentle as the night itself, calling you to rest, to heal, to be. The night deepens, dear soul, and the silence grows more intimate, like a friend who knows your heart without words. You sit in this quiet, your thoughts drifting like leaves on a still river, carrying the weight of a faith that feels fragile, perhaps even broken. The stars outside your window seem distant, and you wonder if God feels distant too. This is a tender place, a sacred ache, where your soul whispers truths it dares not speak in the daylight. You are not alone in this wondering, this wandering. St. John Paul II once knelt in the darkness of his own doubts, offering them to God not as failures, but as prayers. So, too, can you. Lord, I want to believe, but my heart trembles. Are you still there, even in my doubt? Imagine your heart as a small, cracked vessel, holding both love and fear. The cracks are not your shame. They are where the light of God slips through, soft and unhurried. You might feel alone tonight, as if the world has forgotten you, as if God has turned his gaze elsewhere. But listen, he has not. He is here, in the quiet of your breath, in the pulse that beats beneath your skin. He is the one who sees the tears you hide, the questions you cannot voice. Your doubt is not a wall between you and God. It is a bridge, a path that leads you closer to him. Picture yourself now, sitting in a small chapel of your own making, the walls built of moonlight and memory. The air is cool, scented with the faint sweetness of night. You whisper to God, your voice barely audible, as if afraid to disturb the stillness. Why do I feel so alone, you might ask? Why does faith feel like a thread I cannot hold? These questions are holy, dear one. They are the cries of a soul that longs for truth, for connection, for the touch of the divine. God hears them, not as complaints, but as love songs, raw and real. Father, my faith is so small tonight. Hold it gently, please, and make it enough. Loneliness is a heavy companion, isn't it? It sits beside you, whispering lies that you are forgotten, that your pain is too small or too great for God to care. But God is not a stranger to loneliness. He walked the earth as a man, knew the sting of betrayal, the ache of being misunderstood. St. John Paul II, too, carried the solitude of a shepherd who loved a wounded world. He knew that loneliness is not the absence of God, but the space where God longs to meet you most. In this midnight hour, let your loneliness be a prayer, an invitation for God to draw near. Feel the stillness around you, how it wraps you like a shawl. It is not empty, this silence. It is full of God's presence, as gentle as a mother's touch, as steadfast as the mountains. You might imagine him now, sitting across from you, his eyes kind and unhurried. He does not ask you to fix your faith, to mend your heart before you come to him. He asks only that you stay, that you let him love you in your brokenness. Your whispers, your doubts, your fears, they are all part of the conversation, the sacred dialogue between your soul and the one who made it. Lord, I am so tired of feeling alone. Come closer, please, and let me know you're here. In this quiet, you might feel a stirring, a warmth that begins in your chest and spreads like dawn. It is the beginning of trust, fragile as a seedling, yet strong enough to grow. Faith is not a mountain you must climb, dear soul. It is a seed you let God plant within you. St. John Paul II once said that faith is a gift, not a burden, and it grows in the quiet moments when you dare to speak your heart to God. Your broken faith is still faith. Your whispered questions are still prayers, and God, who delights in the smallest offerings, is listening. Let your heart speak now, without fear. Tell God of the moments when faith slipped through your fingers, when loneliness felt like a home you could not leave. Tell him of the nights when you wondered if he was real, if he cared. He does not turn away. He leans closer, his love as vast as the night sky, as tender as a lullaby. You are not alone in this midnight chapel. You are held, you are seen, and your whispers are cherished. The silence softens, like a melody fading into peace. It invites you to rest, to let go of the need to understand, to simply be with God. Your faith, broken as it may feel, is enough. It is a spark, a star, a whisper that lights the way. And God, who never tires of you, is here, whispering back, I am with you, always. The midnight hour holds you gently, dear soul, as if the night itself is a cradle for your weary heart. The silence has become a companion, soft and patient, inviting you to speak the truths that weigh heaviest. Now, in this sacred stillness, your whispers turn to the shadows of shame, the memories that cling like damp leaves to your spirit. You carry regrets, perhaps, words unspoken, choices that haunt, moments when you feel you failed yourself, others, or God. These are heavy burdens, but they are not your identity. St. John Paul II, who bore the weight of a world's suffering, knew that shame is not the end of the story. It is the beginning of a journey toward forgiveness, toward a God who longs to make you whole. Lord, my heart is stained with shame. Can you still love me, even now? Picture yourself standing at the edge of a quiet lake, its surface smooth as glass, reflecting the stars above. Each star is a moment of your life, some bright, some dimmed by pain. The water before you is God's mercy, vast and deep, ready to receive every burden you carry. Shame whispers that you are unworthy, that your mistakes define you, but God's voice is stronger, softer, truer. He calls you beloved, not because of what you have done or failed to do, but because you are His. Your shame is not a chain, it is a wound, and God is the healer who waits to touch it with grace. You might feel a tightness in your chest, a fear that your past is too much for God to forgive. Let that fear speak, dear one. Let it rise like a mist from the lake, dissolving in the warmth of God's presence. St. John Paul II once said that mercy is God's greatest attribute, a love that seeks out the broken, the lost, the ashamed. You are not too far gone. You are not beyond His reach. In this midnight silence, imagine laying your shame at His feet, like a stone too heavy to carry. He does not turn away. He kneels beside you, His hands gentle, His eyes full of compassion. Father, I am afraid to let go. Please take this shame and make me new. Forgiveness is not a transaction, dear soul. It is a gift, as free as the air you breathe. It does not erase the past, but it transforms it, weaving your wounds into a story of redemption. You might whisper to God now, naming the moments that haunt you, the harsh word, the broken promise, the time you turned away from love. Speak them softly, as if to a friend who already knows. God listens, not to judge, but to heal. He sees the tears you shed in secret, the nights you replayed your mistakes, and He says, you are forgiven. You are enough. Feel the air around you, how it moves with a quiet rhythm like a heartbeat. It is the pulse of God's love, steady and unyielding. You might imagine Him now, standing beside the lake, His presence as warm as a fire, as gentle as a breeze. He does not demand perfection. He asks only that you trust His mercy, that you let His love wash over you like water. Your shame is not your story's end. It is a chapter, and God is writing the rest with hope, with grace, with a love that never fails. Lord, I long to be whole again. Bathe my heart in your mercy tonight. In this silence, you might feel a loosening, a lightness, as if the stones of shame are slipping from your hands into the lake. They sink, not to be forgotten. but to be held by God, who turns all things to good. St. John Paul II knew this truth in his own life, as he carried the weight of a world torn by war and division. He knew that forgiveness is the path to freedom, the key that unlocks the heart. You are on that path now, dear one, stepping toward a God who delights in you, who sees you not as broken, but as beautiful. Let your heart rest in this moment, in the quiet of the night. You do not need to earn God's love. It is already yours. You do not need to hide your shame. It is already seen and forgiven. Whisper to God now, as you would to a parent who loves you beyond measure. Tell him of the weight you carry, the forgiveness you seek. He is listening, his arms open, his heart full of a love that heals all wounds. The silence deepens, like a song that lingers after the last note. It invites you to breathe, to trust, to let yourself be loved. Your shame is not your master. God is. And he is here in this midnight hour whispering back, "You are mine, and I have made you free." The night is soft now, dear soul, its edges smoothed by the quiet grace of this midnight hour. The silence has carried you through doubt, through shame, and now it lifts you gently toward hope, like a tide rising under a weary boat. The stars above seem brighter, as if they know the journey your heart has taken. You are still here, whispering to God, and he is still listening, his presence as steady as the pulse of the earth, as tender as a mother's embrace. St. John Paul II, who saw hope bloom in the darkest corners of the world, knew that the night is not the end. It is the cradle of dawn, where God's love renews all things. Lord, my heart is tired, but it hopes. Show me the light that waits beyond this night. Imagine yourself now, sitting on a hillside under the vast night sky, the grass cool beneath you, the air alive with the scent of earth and stars. The silence is no longer heavy. It is a song, a melody woven from God's promises. You have spoken your fears, your shame, your fragile faith, and God has heard every word. He has not turned away. Instead, he draws closer, his love a warmth that settles into your bones, a light that begins to glow within your heart. Hope is not a loud trumpet. It is a whisper, a spark, a quiet certainty that you are held. You might feel a stirring now, a sense that something new is beginning. It is the gift of hope, fragile yet fierce, like a flower pushing through cracked earth. St. John Paul II once said that hope is the courage to trust in God's goodness, even when the world feels broken. Your heart, though scarred, is not broken beyond repair. It is a canvas, and God is the artist, painting it with colors of mercy, forgiveness, and love. In this silence, let yourself trust that the dawn is coming, that God is already preparing a new day for you. Father, I long to see your face. Plant hope in me and let it grow. The night teaches you to wait, dear one, but not in despair. It is a waiting filled with promise, like the pause before a sunrise. You might whisper to God now, asking for strength, for courage, for a sign that hope is real. Speak softly, as if to a friend who never leaves. Tell him of the dreams you fear to dream, the future that feels too heavy to hold. He listens, his heart beating with yours, his love a river that carries you forward. Hope is not the absence of pain, it is the presence of God, walking with you through it. Feel the air around you, how it moves like a gentle breath, carrying the scent of possibility. You might imagine God now, sitting beside you on this hillside, his presence as vast as the sky, as close as your own heartbeat. He does not promise a life without struggle, but he promises to be with you, to lift you when you fall, to light your path when the way is dark. Your hope is a gift, a seed planted in the silence, and God is the gardener who tends it with care. Lord, I am yours, broken but hoping. Lead me to the dawn, and never let me go. In this quiet, You might feel a peace settling over you, like a blanket draped over your shoulders. It is the peace of being known, of being loved, of being carried. The night is no longer a weight. It is a sanctuary, a place where God has met you, where he has whispered back to your whispers. St. John Paul II knew this peace in his own nights of prayer, when he entrusted the world to God's hands. You too can entrust yourself to those hands, knowing they will never let you fall. Let your heart rest now, dear soul. You have journeyed far in this midnight hour, and you are not the same. Your faith, though fragile, is growing. Your shame, though heavy, is lifted. Your hope, though small, is alive. Whisper one last time to God, telling him of the light you long for, the love you need. He is here, his arms open, his heart full of a love that never fades. The silence hums now, like a lullaby that carries you toward rest. It invites you to close your eyes, to breathe deeply, to let God hold you. The dawn is coming, dear one, but for now, the night is enough. It is a gift, a holy space where God has met you, where hope has taken root. And God, who never tires of you, is whispering back, "You are mine, and I am with you always." Dear soul, as the night cradles you in its gentle arms, let this moment be a prayer, a final offering to the God who has walked with you through the silence. You have whispered your heart's deepest truths, and he has answered with love, with mercy, with hope. Now, in this sacred pause, let us pray together, as St. John Paul II once prayed for a weary world, entrusting you to the one who never leaves. Heavenly Father, you who see every tear, hear every whisper, hold every broken heart, we come to you now. This soul, so precious to you, has journeyed through the night, seeking your face. Wrap them in your love as soft as moonlight, as strong as the dawn. Heal their wounds with your mercy, light their path with your hope, and let them feel your embrace, warm and eternal. You are the God who turns midnight into morning, who makes all things new. Carry this soul now, and let them rest in you. You are not alone, dear one. The night has been your companion, but God has been your home. Sleep now if you can, knowing that you are held, that you are loved, that you are prayed for. The dawn awaits, and God will lead you there, step by gentle step.